The Secret of My Success was released in 1987 and is the comedy film produced and directed by Herbert Ross and stars the ever-likable Michael J. Fox and Helen Slater, with a story by A.J. Carruthers. Fox plays a young college graduate, Brantley Foster, from Kansas, who moves to New York City where he has a job lined up as a financier. As soon as he arrives to the job, he finds the company has been taken over from a rival company, which puts Brantley out of work.
You're fired, kid. Sorry.
Mom, I'm doing great. New York is just like Kansas, intensified.
He finds work with the Penrose Corporation, in which his Uncle Howard Prescott is the CEO.
I need a job, Uncle Howard.
Around here, I'm Mr. Prescott.
His uncle gives him a job in the mailroom.
Show the college puke the ropes and keep them out of my face.
Brantley starts working secretly as a suit under the fake identity of Carlton Whitfield.
This is Carlton Whitfield. Carlton Whitfield?
Well, I didn't hire any Carlton Whitfield.
He starts to find that his uncle and fellow suits are running the company into the ground with bad management. He sits in the meetings of the executives and finds ways of saving the company, but he is instantly shut down by the other executives. He has an affair with Vera, played by Margaret Whitton. Things start to get a little more complicated when he realizes that Vera is actually his aunt, Vera Prescott. He starts to fall head over heels for executive Christy Wills, played by Helen Slater.
That's when he met her.
Tonight? Booked. Tomorrow night? Booked. All right, but don't beg, okay? It's embarrassing.
They were a merger made in heaven.
That wasn't bad.
Through the course of the film, he is in hiding from his uncle, who doesn't realize Carlton is Brantley. He later works together with Aunt Vera and Christy Wills to put the company back in good hands, away from Uncle Howard, who has run the company into the ground. Vera believes Brantley and Christy are perfect to save her father's company.
Let's talk about the film. This one is
It's called The Secret of My Success.
Secret of My Success.
It's funny,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing it would be. You're a very funny man, so we have every reason to believe that you would be funny in the film. What's it about? A young man comes to New York.
It's about a young guy from Kansas who goes to New York. He's kind of got, actually, you know, he's got fantasies of moving up in the business world and meeting a beautiful young woman or a couple or however many young women he can meet, getting a penthouse and kind of succeeding. It's pretty 80s.
Yeah, it is a version of the American dream, though.
Yeah.
Kids getting out of college, move to New York to strike it rich.
Michael J. Fox, riding high on the success of the hit television show Family Ties and the box office hit Back to the Future, is wonderful in the lead and has a certain likability, which saves the film from becoming a by-the-numbers, forgettable 80s film. He is engaging throughout and holds the film together.
Michael's new movie, not yet released, shows us the familiar Michael J. Fox. It's ironically called The Secret of My Success.
It's very fast-paced and very, very much in the same vein, obviously not sci-fi adventure, but in that same kind of pacing and the same kind of packaging almost as a film like Back to the Future.
Michael J. Fox was just this charismatic, he still is, but I worked with him 20 years ago. Charismatic, he was at the top of his game. He had been on this television show Family Ties. He would be mobbed when we were in New York City. He was just really, he was at a very interesting point in his career and so kind and sweetheart, and I thought really just lovely, very easy to work with.
There are many great supporting actors in this film too. Helen Slater had moderate success in the 80s with her first starring role as Supergirl in 1984, The Legend of Billie Jean, and Ruthless People in 1986.
I feel I've been very lucky with the roles that I've gotten to do, and in my younger years with Ruthless People and City Slickers and Secret of My Success, just feel very lucky for the people I got to work with, and Michael J. Fox.
Other notables, Richard Jordan as Howard Prescott. He had a moderate success on Broadway and featured in many films, but the film I'll always remember him for is the science fiction classic Logan's Run in 1976. Margaret Whitton is wonderful as Aunt Vera and is an actress I have seen in many films, including Major League and the Mel Gibson directed film The Man Without a Face.
That is an actress named Margaret Whitten, who's certifiably insane and really talented.
John Pankow is an actor who is mostly well known as Ira in the TV sitcom Mad About You. His biggest role was in the 1986 William Friedkin directed action thriller To Live and Die in LA, alongside William Peterson and Willem Dafoe. Actor Fred Gwynne appears towards the end of the film as Mr. Davenport. We all of course know him from the TV show The Munsters. Model Cindy Crawford appears very briefly in the opening credits of Secret of My Success. Actress Mercedes Royale has a short, scene-stealing appearance. Director Herbert Ross has had quite a career working on many plays in the late 1940s and acted as choreographer for Cliff Richard musicals, The Young Ones and Summer Holiday, and the Barbra Streisand musical Funny Girl. And he directed Barbra Streisand in The Owl and the Pussycat and Funny Lady. He directed The Goodbye Girl in 1977, and in 1984 he directed the hit movie Footloose.
Herb does some really interesting things. He's, first of all, a fabulous director and one of the best experiences I ever had working with him. He would do something like, if you're walking down a hallway, he'll crank music. I mean, just turn on music with a big beat as loud as he can, and you don't necessarily move to it, but it's funny how it kind of, well, some theoreticians or whatever people, music people, figure that it opens up the right side of your brain because you just start doing different things and moving differently, and it affects the way, the energy you put into your step and things like that. And he does that kind of stuff a lot. He's very interested in movement, very interested in music, very interested in energy, and it's a difference between someone saying, I want more, and someone saying, well, I'm not going to ask you to do more because that could look fake. What I'm going to do is just surround you with every element that I can that will encourage you to do more, but so that you actually feel it. And music is the best way to do it. He does that a lot.
The original script was about a nephew working for his uncle and falling in love with his uncle's prostitute. Because the parts were written too thin, Universal executive Frank Price called in Jim Cash and Jack Epps Jr. to rewrite the script, changing the prostitute to the mistress. Christy McNichol was originally going to be the lead actress in the film. 2 weeks before filming, she was pulled out of production. The producers feared she might be difficult to work with due to her struggling with depression. The film was shot during June, July and August of 1986, and New York was featured in 35 locations and played a big role in the film. Fox, just after Secret of My Success, filmed in New York City once again the following year with the drama Bright Lights Big City in 1988. The name of the character Fox plays, Brantley Foster, is the name of the band member Brantley Foster from the band Katrina and the Waves, whose song Walking on Sunshine was used in the film. The music for The Secret of My Success was composed by David Foster. The soundtrack features a number of artists like Night Ranger with the self-titled track The Secret of My Success. The hit track Oh Yeah by Yellow was featured in the famous limo scene with Brantley and Vera, and was also used in the bedroom scenes in the film. This track was also used in the film Ferris Bueller's Day Off in 1986.
Our next big name bomb of 1987 was The Secret of My Success, which did very well at the box office. This was a major hit, but it was one of the dumbest films of the year, with Michael J. Fox as a college graduate who talks his uncle into giving him a job in the mailroom of a big company, and then he carries out a masquerade as a junior executive. Then there was a lot of really dumb stuff in this film involving how Fox has an affair with his uncle's wife without realizing she's his aunt, and so on and on and on. Michael J. Fox has proven that he's a fine actor in movies like Back to the Future, but this movie was unworthy of him, especially in its unquestioning assumption that success is everything and justifies any deception. His character grows up to be exactly the kind of man Oliver Stone attacks in Wall Street.
Well, I mean, it was actually shocking that Michael Fox couldn't smell the script as bad, and it's a testament, I guess, to his incredible popularity that the film did so well. But it is one of the dumbest films, and actually sort of mean-spirited. I mean, it's not, you know, there's no positive human emotion in the film whatsoever.
Some critics liken the film to the 1967 film How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Michael J. Fox's star appeal seemed to be the main box office attraction of this film, and the film was #1 at the box office for 5 weeks, taking $7.8 million in its opening weekend. The film made an additional $44 million more, and the film fared very well on home video. Michael J. Fox was riding high in the 80s. The main reason for Family Tie's success as a whole was the sheer magnetism and charisma of Michael J. Fox that made the show what it was. And I think this is true of a lot of the success of his movies in the 80s. I think with the massive success of Back to the Future, it propelled him even more to superstar status. It wasn't just the characters audiences fell in love with, but the actor himself. His charm was undeniable, especially in the film The Secret of My Success, which relies heavily on Fox's charm and magnetic charisma. Secret of My Success is definitely a guilty pleasure. There are many flaws with this film, but I still enjoy it, and it has its funny moments, and is a bit of light-hearted fun. Nothing really is overly awe-inspiring about the movie, but I've always been a sucker for the underdog story.